Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. I'm Taquin, and Bungie has come in clutch with their latest blog post. And it's a good thing they did as well, because the community as a whole, the Destiny community, was not happy having absolutely zero roadmap for the changes we wanted to happen in Destiny 2. So Bungie, if you didn't know, decided to cancel their third Curse of Osiris livestream and replace it with a blog post detailing some important information about what's going to be changing in Destiny 2 in the coming months. So I've got the blog post in front of me, and we're just going to go down and I'm going to hit the main points in this blog, what I think is going to have the most impact on the game. There are some really good changes in here. There are some really good changes. So we're going to go through those, and I'm going to give my thoughts on those. So getting started, first thing we have is a little message from Luke and Chris Barrett, where they essentially say that communication is going to be put to the forefront, and they want to do better with communicating with the community, because as everyone who plays Destiny 2 right now knows, that has not been very solid lately. So that's good to hear. So starting off with some of the changes and improvements that are coming. New systems and rewards to give our most engaged players additional optional pursuits. So they're adding a new weapon tier, which are Masterworks, which have stat trackers, random rerollable stat bonuses, unique item tooltips and item detail screens, improved vendor rewards, and then adding armor ornaments. Better incentives for players who complete challenging prestige activities, which is super important because I didn't even play the prestige raid because there wasn't anything super valuable to get from it. Nothing that would actually change your gameplay. So also better rewards and replay value for strikes, adventures, and lost sectors. That's all well and good, but for strikes, personally, I really want strike-specific loot again, because that was one of the main things that made me keep coming back and replaying different strikes, was all the really cool, unique gear that you can get from them. If you can't tell, I'm not going super in-depth with all these changes. I'll link the blog in the description box below, but I just wanted to go over, do an overview of most of the changes, and just sort of give my thoughts on how I think they're going to change the game, and if this is going to help Destiny 2's situation as a whole, because it is really important at this time that Destiny goes somewhere positive, because players are dropping, YouTubers are dropping the game, your favorite content creators aren't having fun making Destiny 2 videos. I probably should have said this in the intro, but I forgot to. Essentially, I think Destiny is in probably its worst state that it's been throughout its entire lifespan currently in terms of interest in the game as a whole. So I'm hoping these changes will help, but we'll see. So one of the big things is private matches. They're still targeting early 2018, and also we should expect to have better insight into the exact timing in the new year. That is great. It's going to be great for the competitive community, and also just setting up different game types with your friends, things like that. Honestly, it is a joke that we did not have private matches off the launch of Destiny 2. So I really hope that these private matches aren't as rudimentary as they were in Destiny 1, because that is just a bare bones. That's just a thing that should be in a shooter like this. So since they're taking so long, I'm hoping that they weren't just cut because they weren't priority. I'm hoping that maybe they've taken the time to add very detailed settings for people to use in the private matches, like you can adjust movement speed, shield strength, whatever. Like think Halo custom games, the amount of customization you have for every little stat in Halo custom games. Hopefully we get that. I doubt it, because Destiny is a game that always gives off the vibe of consolidation and professionalism. You know, you don't really see super detailed things with the stats and all that stuff. So hopefully that happens, but I doubt it will. At least we are getting private matches. That is a good thing. So this next thing is, in my opinion, the biggest part of this blog post. They said we're moving ranked PvP to the top of our priority list for next year to support the competitive community. Thank God. Dude, to be completely honest, I did not see them adding competitive into this game. Even with the amount of people asking for it, we've been asking for it since Destiny 1 launched. A competitive ranking system. And to my knowledge, I don't think Bungie has ever acknowledged it. And so apparently we are going to get ranked PvP. So that is massive news. While it's massive news, it also should not have taken them 3+ years to get it into the game. We don't even know when it's coming. They just said top of the priority list for next year. So sometime in 2018, hopefully sooner rather than later. My guess would be it'll probably launch with the second DLC, but even that I feel like is a little optimistic considering how long it took us to get private matches in Destiny 1 when we asked for them. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed on this, but still super great news for Destiny 2, because currently, as fun as the Crucible is, on PC at least, there is absolutely zero reason to play it other than getting Crucible weapons, you know, XP, whatever. Besides that, there is no reason. Like, in my opinion, Destiny Crucible is not interesting enough to hold its own without a ranking system, for the competitive people to try to compete with each other, do their best, see what rank they can get to, because there is no incentive for me to play Crucible, honestly, other than to get some gameplay for a video like this, or just play with some friends that are online, and even then, it's not nearly as fun as Destiny 1 Crucible. So, as good as news is that we're getting a ranked PvP, I think some changes need to be made to the overall environment in Destiny 2 PvP to make it more fun, but that's for an entirely different video. So next up, we have better incentives for completing Crucible matches and penalties for quitting competitive games. Great news, solid stuff. Not really much to say about it. It's gonna help things out. Next up, continued improvements to Iron Banner and faction rallies, including uniqueness of rewards. So they said the next Iron Banner and faction rally will introduce improvements in both of these areas. Good news, because the faction rallies and Iron Banner weapons are not unique whatsoever. This is a topic that has been discussed before by tons of other YouTubers, but my god, it is an embarrassment how much reskinning happens in Destiny. It's always been kind of a meme with Destiny. Like, you remember back in Destiny 1, the Iron Banner weapons were just always reskins of each other until Rise of Iron, when they just freaking nailed them. Iron Banner in Destiny 2 takes a step back in that regard with uniqueness to weapons. Same with faction rallies, man. It's like Bungie is one of the biggest game studios out there right now. One of the biggest AAA game studios, making a massive game backed by Activision, working with multiple other AAA game studios to help them make Destiny 2. And the faction weapons and Iron Banner weapons aren't unique models. This is just something that may piss me off more than other people, but it's just something that I just find mind-blowing. So that is great to hear. Hopefully that means, you know, unique weapon models, something that, like, you know, you want to actually grind for. Hopefully that means uniqueness and rewards in that regard. So that's good to hear. So next up, we're getting changes to make the mod economy more interesting and impactful. Apparently the Gunsmith will have some updates on how mods are acquired. And they're also exploring more updates to the system in the new year. So for me to be interested in this, I think the mod system honestly has to be completely reworked, because as it is right now, things just aren't interesting. The things that mods do don't affect your gameplay enough to warrant the grind for them. The only reason that I've heard that people grind for mods so far has just been the legendary ones that increase your light level, because the actual tangible effects that they have on your weapons and armor and gameplay aren't big enough. So hopefully they take a look at that and introduce a bunch of interesting mods, because the mod system has a lot of potential. I was super psyched to see that something like that was coming to Destiny 2, but right now it's just not interesting. Changes to exotics. They're going to plan to tune underperforming exotics. Fighting Line, I'm looking at you. And they'll continue to make targeted updates and improvements. Also, duplication protection will be added for exotics in the new year. Good to hear. Good stuff. New ways to spend surplus currency and materials. So basically, they're going hard with putting legendary shards into the economy. So save up on those, because those are going to become very important coming soon. So players will be able to spend tokens and legendary shards on vendor inventories. Xur will have new items as well. So legendary shards are going to become useful, so hold on to those. They're also adding an emote wheel, which is cool. Personally, I don't care too much. It's just a nice addition. Not really going to impact the game too much, but it's good to hear. So they basically just go on and explain how Masterworks weapons are going to work. Essentially, they track and display the number of kills that you get with that weapon, with a choice between total kill count or Crucible kill count only. They generate orbs for you and your allies on multi-kills, which is neat. And you also get a weapon stat bonus that's going to be selected randomly from a small pool that you can reroll. So I'm pretty sure that's just like a perk that you can then reroll, which is great, because in my opinion, I think random rolls need to come back, but this is just a tiny bit closer to that. So some of the other things they detailed was the return of 3 of coins. Basically, it's a simpler version of it, I guess. I'm doing air quotes right now. No obscure stacking mechanics or the need to reapply before every boss, and they cost legendary shards, and you can have as many as you like. Personally, I despise 3 of coins. While yes, they're great for getting exotics, I feel like they made exotics entirely too abundant in Destiny 1. That's just my opinion. I like exotics being this super rare, prestigious thing you have to chase, versus them just raining from the sky. So also, they're introducing a Fated Engram, which is a level 300 power exotic engram you can buy once a week from Xur. You can only buy 1 per week. That gives you an exotic that you don't have. So, boom. That's just another super easy way to get exotics, which personally I don't agree with. But hey, with as mediocre as exotics are, I guess making them more abundant kind of makes sense. But hopefully we can get some ones that are way better. So the rest is basically just like quality of life changes and you know, good things like that. They also say with the launch of Curse of Osiris in the beginning of Season 2, you can expect to see a full suite of patch notes that will document all of the changes outlined above, as well as additional gameplay and sandbox tuning changes the team is making to improve Destiny 2. Great. They said we'll also soon be providing preload and launch day details, as well as a roadmap for our Season 2 content, which includes the dawning in mid-December. Okay, so we got all the main things that I wanted to cover out of the blog post. So now I want to discuss Destiny 2's state, the DLC, and what this all means for Destiny 2 as a game going forward. So, did this blog post save Destiny 2? Is this the godsend that everyone was hoping for and what we needed? No. This is stuff that should have been in the game at launch, stuff that should have been in Destiny 1 in my opinion. I'm not saying I'm not happy about the changes. I'm very happy about the changes. What this is a good start. It's a good start. I am very happy they're coming. It sounds like Bungie understands there was a communication issue, that people were upset, which I'm sure everyone knows at this point how upset people have been. They recognize that enough to cancel their third live stream and put out this blog post instead, which I think is an excellent move. I'm really happy they did that. So, ranked play, private matches, better rewards for endgame content, and more reasons to play, you know, those prestige modes. Great stuff. I think it's going to really help the state of Destiny 2. I don't think it's completely saved this game. Like I said, it's a start, and these things aren't going to be rolling out until way down the line. Private matches and ranked play aren't coming until sometime next year. We don't know when. I think they stated that for private matches, they're going to let us know when those are going to be dropping somewhere around the new year. They're going to give us a date. So, as a whole, awesome blog post. Good stuff. It should have been in the game at launch, but I'm not going to complain anymore about that. At least we are getting it. I am very happy that these changes are coming. But like I said, this stuff isn't going to start rolling out until much later. So we're going to have to deal with the DLC. So Curse of Osiris is coming out on December 5th. That's 3 days from now, from when I'm recording this video. So I'm going to start making videos on Destiny 2 once again when that DLC drops, because there will be new stuff to do. You know, obviously I'm going to play through the content, make some videos on that, do that kind of thing. But to basically give you guys good expectations, a lot of this stuff isn't going to be coming until later. Curse of Osiris was developed before Destiny 2's launch, and, you know, obviously up until its launch. So a lot of the feedback is not going to be taken into account until at least the second DLC drops. It sounds like we're getting some sandbox updates, some quality of life improvements, the inclusion of masterwork stuff, which is excellent with Curse of Osiris. So this is all good stuff. It's not enough to make this game the best it can be, because this game, like Destiny, has always had a ton of potential. So bottom line is, this hasn't saved Destiny 2 yet. I think it is an excellent start, communication wise, changes being made to the game as a whole, and I'm optimistic. I've seen a lot of negativity surrounding this blog post, just because, you know, I get it, this stuff should have been here before. But we're gonna get it eventually. At least we have some sort of roadmap. The thing that was so concerning about Destiny 2 state is that we had no idea what was going on. We saw this DLC coming out, but we didn't see anything that we wanted in that DLC via the live stream. So we got a detailed list of great stuff that's going to be coming into the game. Let's hope things turn out okay. Keep letting Bungie know what we want, because they understand that communication is super important. So keep letting them know. Keep criticizing the game in a respectful way, in a constructive way, because criticism is what makes things get better. So with that being said, I'm going to end the video, guys. If you liked it, let me know by leaving a like on the video, and comment down below what are your thoughts on the changes listed in this blog post. I've left a link to the blog post, the full thing, in the description box below as well, so check that out. But with that said, thank you very much for watching as always, and I will see you guys next time.